Hello and welcome to today's Back to Basics show. I'm Rico Burton and I volunteer with Arizona's AARP. Now, AARP is the largest nonprofit, nonpartisan organization dedicated to empowering people 50 and older to choose how they live as they age. There's over 38 million people nationwide that belong to AARP, and we have a presence of about 900,000 right here in Arizona. So AARP works to strengthen communities and advocates for what matters most to families: health security, financial stability, and personal fulfillment. Now, as this pandemic makes all the different crazy changes that it's making, and we begin to get out into the world a little bit more, AARP too is very, very flexible, and we are returning to free in-person events in local communities, as well as providing virtual experiences where people 50 plus can make connections, learn something new, have fun, and discover new interests. We have lots of resources. Make sure you take a look at the links that'll be provided and the URLs that you'll see come across the screen. And you can also go to the website for aarp.org. Thanks so much. Now, today we're going to talk about meditation. And we're going to learn a few things about that. Please let us know in the chat where you're from. And if you have any questions, feel free to offer those, and we will be sure to get to them. Hello there, Coach Sherry Ann. How are you?
I'm great, Lady B. Thank you so much for asking. How are you?
I won't complain. Thank you for asking. All right, talk to us. What's going on?
So meditation, a lot of people sometimes think that's just being quiet or, doing the old traditional, they think of Buddhists like sitting there and meditating with feet crossed. And it's really, there's so many different forms of meditation. So today we're going to dive into the benefits of meditation, why you should meditate, take some time for it, and then different types of meditation to see if you're not doing it, to see which one might fit for you. So meditation is just the habitual process of training your mind to focus and redirect your thoughts. That's really simply what it is. So sometimes it is just sitting in the quiet, but having an intent and how you go about doing it helps it be that much more effective. And so there's a lot of benefits, the biggest one being reducing stress and creating self-awareness. Because if you're creating self-awareness, you're much more aware of your body and your thoughts and how you're holding your stress and things like that. It helps you to develop better concentration so that you can focus better and getting some things done. And it just being aware of everything around you. And so there's so many benefits to it. So, and I was asked earlier before we even started if you meditate, and you said yes. And so do you find a particular time of day that you do it, or do you just do it throughout the day, or when do you find it's best for you?
I guess I like your definition of meditation. I guess mine has to do with centering myself, finding a place of calm, finding a place of peace that I can be still and listen to my body, listen to God, and all of that. And so my meditation it's more prayer, I think, than anything. Mine is a more spiritual kind of thing. And the benefits are still there. I reap the benefits of just what you're talking about as well. But so I have learned to meditate on and off throughout the day. And sometimes it's just very short little snippets, but it's still also very, very intentional when it happens. So I meditate day and night. I meditate on the word. I'll bring in affirmations. I'll do other things. And so those are parts of the meditation. Then I'll have other quiet time where I simply really do meditate for a period of time, 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Nice. And so you said one of the things that's really lovely about meditation is you can do it anywhere and you can do it any time of the day. Some people do it very intentional in the start of the day to get their day going. Some people do it at the end of the day to wrap their thoughts up so that they can sleep well. And doing it throughout the day is really key if you're in a situation where you can feel your stress rising, or if you're in a situation where you have a lot of anxiety, because that's one of the benefits of meditating is it helps to reduce anxiety. And so you can do it anywhere. And that's just one of the beautiful things about it. And you don't have to sit for 10 minutes. You could just take a few minutes and center yourself, And so, like I said earlier, it reduces stress, which is huge because when you reduce cortisol, so when we're in a stressful situation, the fight or flight, cortisol surges through our bodies. And cortisol is not a very good hormone that we want surging through our bodies. It's designed to be there to help you survive. So helping reduce stress actually, lengthens your life. So it's really important to if you want to use meditation to reduce stress, that's huge, and plus when you reduce cortisol, you're also managing your inflammation response.
Okay.
So, which helps our immune response. So there's such a cascading effect of learning how to meditate, especially in stressful situations, to get that stress down. If you have IBS, which is irritable bowel syndrome, meditating can actually help with that. If you have PTSD, same thing. Meditating, that's one of the cognitive behavior things that they go through with you to help manage PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress syndrome. So if you have a lot of, if you have any kind of mental illness, meditation is a huge part of managing that. And so it helps in so many ways. And like I said, it controls anxiety because I have a child that has a lot of anxiety, and learning how to teach her how to be calm and meditate still a work in progress, because it takes skill and it takes effort. And so but being self-aware, that's another thing, is like I said earlier, it enhances self-awareness. Because a lot of us have a tendency to, when we are in a stressful situation or high anxiety, we tense our bodies. Our muscles get very, very tense. Everything vasoconstricts. It's almost like you're seeing through a straw. You don't really get to see everything because everything just tightens down, even your eyesight. You start to look through a straw and you're not coping well, you're not seeing everything. So having self-awareness allows you to respond to situations versus reacting to situations. So that's another thing where meditation can help you respond. Because it's hard to teach the skill of responding versus reacting, because we are a very reactionary society. So it's going to help lengthen your attention span. I see a thought. You have something you want to.
Well, yeah, I guess, we talk about stress and anxiety. What's the difference?
Oh, that's a really great. Okay, so they're very intertwined. So anxiety is you have a physical response to your body. Like I said, things vasoconstrict, and so anxiety can create stress, and stress can create anxiety, and so that's why they're very interconnected. So stress could be something that there's physical stresses, there's emotional stresses, there's mental stresses, there's all kinds of things. But anxiety is when it happens to people in different ways. So some people will get an upset stomach, which is really their intestines are just kind of like freaking out. And so some people have IBS. That's how their anxiety manifests itself. Some people have shortness of breath, and they find themselves like almost hyperventilating, and so anxiety is when you are having a hard time coping and figuring out how to maneuver through a situation and respond appropriately versus react.
So anxiety has more to do with worry.
Yeah.
And just a persistent kind of worry. Okay. All right. And I know that stress can be both physical and mental.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. So, and when you're meditating, one of the other benefits too is it helps lengthen your attention span. So it allows your brain to open up to absorb more information, and you can stay focused longer. So that's another part of one of the other benefits of meditating, is having the ability to focus longer and hold your attention longer to something. If you're like me and I'm going into a situation where I need to stay focused, because I have a tendency to have butterfly syndrome, I call it, or squirrel, and I get distracted very easily by things. And so if I need to stay focused for a long period of time, I will sit and meditate and focus on my body and making sure that I can open up my brain and let all the chatter in my head go away, so I don't have the butterfly syndrome of jumping from thing to thing. So it's one thing that I do to help lengthen my attention span for sure.
Okay. And in this world of microwave society where we want everything so quickly, so fast, that would be a real benefit, I think, even for young children, to begin to learn how to meditate so that they could stay more focused in school.
Mm-hmm.
And all the rest. Okay.
My youngest, he's 14 now, but he had a class last year where she would play music. She would have them put their hands on their desk or on their lap so they couldn't touch anything, and close their eyes. And she would have a brief moment before she would even teach for her lesson for the hour to have them just calm themselves. And I thought, that's brilliant. She's actually ahead of the game sometimes. The teachers do that. I love it. Uh,
Right.
Another benefit is it reduces age-related memory loss. Like that's attached to it, lengthening your attention span. It's helping your memory be stronger.
Hmm.
So it's really good. And that's why I love meditating before going to sleep, because when you sleep, your brain washes itself and it actually files away all the information that you took care of during the day, and it creates memories. And so meditating before you go to sleep actually helps with your memory. So that's something to really take into consideration. Uh, Meditation can also generate kindness and positive thoughts because it puts you in a really happy place. And so, because you're creating self awareness. And usually, when people go into a meditative state, they're not thinking of the bad things that are going on, they're thinking of the good things. And so, it does put you in a very much more lighthearted state and a state of being just positive and being kind and loving. Meditation also helps fight addictions. So it's one of those cognitive behavior therapies that people can do because it creates self-awareness and it helps you break your dependencies because you can create self-control when you're doing meditation on a consistent basis, creating a habitual process of thinking and being aware. So it helps with addictions. It's going to improve your sleep, which we are going to talk about sleep in 2 weeks. So who doesn't want to sleep better? If you're waking up restless in the night and your brain is racing, it would be really good for you to think about meditating before you go to bed because it's guaranteed that they've done so many studies, it will improve your sleep.
Now, surely there has to be different kinds of different types of meditation that do this. Surely one can't do all of these things, can they? Okay. All right.
So we'll dive into the different types of meditation,
Okay.
but everyone's a little different. Based on your personality and how you are, you'll find one that works for you. And you can use a blend of different types of meditation depending upon what you're doing and when you're doing it and what you're dealing with. So yeah, we'll definitely dive into that. Meditation also helps to control pain because it helps change your state of mind and your perception of pain. So meditating, if you're dealing with a chronic illness or a chronic pain, sometimes meditating and leaning into that actually changes your perspective and perception of that pain. So it helps with that as well. And like I said earlier, it's going to decrease your blood pressure. So if you're taking blood pressure medication, you can really benefit greatly from trying different types of meditation. So lots of benefits.
Sounds like it.
Lots
Okay.
and lots of benefits. So let's dive into different types. And please, if you're watching and you have questions about meditation, or if you want to share what type of meditation that you do that works for you, please feel free to let us know that, and also let us know where you're tuning in from, because I love to see that. So the first one is mindfulness. This is probably the most popular form of meditation. And it's just creating an awareness of your body and your thoughts. And you can do it really you can do any of these anywhere, but it's just being very still. And one of the analogies that I like is I close my eyes and I imagine a stream out in a babbling brook, something of that nature where I can hear the water. And I imagine all of my thoughts, and I do this one to help control my thoughts. So I imagine it's always fall time and leaves are falling into the stream. And as each leaf floats by, I put a thought onto that leaf and then I watch it float on by and leave, and so I don't let my thoughts control me. But I embrace these thoughts and I lean into these thoughts, but then I watch them float away and leave. And so this just helps me create a lot of mindfulness and a lot of awareness of where I'm at in my head. So, but mindfulness really helps with people that are having anxiety about a situation. They can really break the situation down and associate thoughts to these leaves and let these leaves float away, and then recognize that they are not their anxiety. These are just thoughts that are in their head. So I do love mindfulness, and it's one that I really try to teach to my kids on a daily basis, of just being mindful of their thoughts, because your thoughts become your words and your words become your actions. And so it's really important to be mindful of that.
Is that different or the same as visualization?
No, it's different. So well, see, I use a form of visualization.
Right.
So visualization is another form of um, meditation, and that's typically used a lot with athletes. Like they visualize their event, or they visualize their game, or whatever they're going to be competing in. So visualization can be used in a lot of different ways. If you're getting ready to go speak on stage in front of people, or speak in a boardroom, you can imagine yourself standing there and being, standing with great posture and delivering wonderfully. So there's a lot of visualization that can happen if you're moving into a situation where you want to visualize it and into fruition.
Thank you.
I love visualization. That's a great one, because being an athlete, that one is one I do quite frequently, and help my athletes that I coach do a lot of visualization.
We talk about seeing things as though they were, think things as though they were, and that's part of bringing that out. So yeah, okay,
Yep,
the
absolutely.
positiveness. Mm-hmm.
Yep. The next type is spiritual. And this is one that you were mentioning that's near and dear to you. It's a type of prayer. It's very similar to prayer. It's done in silence usually. And some people will burn essential oils to heighten the experience. But this one is just really sitting and giving thanks and being grateful, and just being quiet and doing prayer. So, and it leaves you feeling really beautiful and lighthearted and positive.
Okay.
So the next one is focused. And this one is focused meditation, is when you are really becoming very aware of all of your five senses. And you can focus on something internal, or you can focus on like your breath, and really feel like the breath coming into your lungs and feeling every part of your lungs, and feeling that air actually, because it carries oxygen, so the oxygen gets to the blood and the blood goes all to your body, and so being very aware of breath and paying attention to all your five senses. Or you can use something external, like focus on some mala beads, or some people, if they're Catholic, a rosary beads, or you can look at a flame. And if you've ever stared at a little flame for a little while, it's pretty remarkable how it moves. So having something internal or external to really look at or feel, and then think about so you think about all your senses, what you're seeing, what you're smelling, what you're hearing, what you're touching, and sometimes what you're tasting. And so some people will use cooking as a type of meditation. If you've ever seen someone that really loves to cook and they're in their kitchen, that's their space and their form of meditation, because they're hearing the food cook, they're touching it with their hands, they're smelling it, they're tasting it. So they're very much enmeshed with cooking. So cooking is definitely a type of meditation for some people if they love to be chefs.
So you don't have to be still to meditate.
No.
So if somebody likes to paint, or somebody likes to sing, or are any of those considered?
Yes. So the next type of meditation is movement meditation. And that's my favorite because I'm a runner. That's what I love to do. I race bikes and do other things too, and swim. But running is my time to go meditate, because it's so second nature for me. And I've been doing it since I was so little that it's when my mind just goes, and I let thoughts come and go out of my brain. And it's when I'm most creative is when I'm running. And it's because I'm not trying to think of anything. So so meditation can definitely be movement. It could be swimming. Like for some people it's swimming, riding a bike, or it could be just doing some yoga or hiking. If you're not a runner, but you can go hike and just look around at the surroundings, listen to your feet touch the dirt, listen to the insects or the animals or the wind. Like there's so many benefits to movement meditation, because when your blood is flowing, it also has a tendency to just really create, an awareness also within your body. So movement meditation is definitely, that's my first and foremost cup of tea.
Okay.
Some people it's dancing. Like you can just put music on in your house and just start moving and dancing throughout your house. And it'd be interesting, if you've never done it, to do it and just see where your thoughts go, see where your brain goes. It's really quite beautiful when you do movement meditation. Yeah. So you don't have to be still. Not at all.
I think that's different for most people. We think that we need to be still, that we sit and, the posture and the way that we need to be. And you're telling us some things that I think many people just aren't considering at all. And now this will give them an opportunity to say, wait a minute, I've been meditating all along and didn't realize it. So,
Right. Yes, exactly. And so most people said it, like I said early on, are thinking like more along the lines of probably like a Buddhist monk or somebody that's sitting there with their hands crossed, feet crossed, hands out, making an om sound, which is a type of meditation also. So the next one is mantra meditation. And this can be done with a repetitive sound, a phrase, or a word. And when you repeat it over and over again, it actually allows your brain to clear. And so when I've used mantra meditation in the past, it's been when I've getting ready to at the starting line of an event or a race, and I'll use a phrase of words that just help me focus on just my body and being aware of my body and what I'm asking it to do. And so mantra meditation is a great one if you have a particular phrase that you're really wanting to focus on. And so it's or you could do a sound though. And so, but it has a purpose. There's an intent to mantra meditation. So you don't go into it with just, because the next one is transcendental meditation. And that is when you do make a sound or you have a mantra, but it has no meaning whatsoever. There's no meaning, no purpose to it. And the whole purpose, the simple purpose of transcendental meditation is just to clear your mind. And so that's one where people do make that sound om, because that word doesn't mean anything, but it allows you to feel the vibration in your whole sinus cavity, your face, down into your chest. Has no purpose other than just to clear your mind.
So if I sat down and said lottery, think I'd win? Are you telling me maybe?
If you do, I'm picking up on that one. I'm taking that mantra one every day.
Right? Like, if I could just say the phrase that means something to me. Ooh, lottery. Okay, all right.
That's funny though, only because I talk to my kids about when they speak things into existence, like, because sometimes we have these thoughts. I said, you have your thoughts, then you have your words, and you have your actions. And sometimes people will speak things into existence. So if you manage to do that.
But you also have to be careful what you wish for, because sometimes you mess around here and get it, and then what?
Oh,
right?
Yes. Yeah. How I look at it is, the universe is listening, so it's, if you speak it into existence, be prepared. It might happen, but it might not happen the way you think it's going to happen.
Right.
So
and even though we get something, it doesn't mean that we are necessarily prepared for it. So, all right. I know you have a few more for us.
Yes. So the next one is, it's like focused meditation, but it's progressive relaxation. And this one is a great one before you go to bed. And what it is progressive relaxation is you do a body scan. And this is really wonderful. If you're laying in bed, then you start at the top of your head, and you can actually, you have muscles throughout your face and your head actually. So you can tense, like start at the top of your head and just work, even like clench your jaw, relax, and just work your whole way down. And we have muscles throughout our entire body, like tense your neck, like tense it and then relax. And then you can do it a couple times. You can hold it for like 10 seconds and then relax. But this is a great progressive relaxation. Just go from the top of your head all the way down your body, and take a lot of time to really focus on every little part of your body, and then relax it, and just be aware of all of the feelings that you're having in your body. It creates a lovely bit of awareness that a lot of people don't have with their own bodies. And so, because we have these proprioceptors throughout our entire body to let us know where we are in space and time. And so get connected with those nerve endings and those muscles throughout your entire body, and it'll help you relax so wonderfully. And you'd be amazed at how much better you'll sleep if you do this progressive relaxation before bedtime.
Right.
Yep. So the next one is kind of like love and prayer also. Spiritual meditation, and it's loving meditation in the sense of creating kindness and releasing anger and resentment. And, we get upset throughout the day. Everyone does. And really being aware of why you're upset. What was the intention? What was the expectation? What was the missed communication? And so spending some time, loving yourself and loving the situation and releasing the anger and resentment that you have towards an upset that you had during the day is huge. Because too many of us carry around anger and resentment, and it is aging you. It's harming you. So learning how to let go of that is huge. So, and I do that at night, and it's just a practice in the sense of I'm very grateful for all of the wonderful things that do come into my life. And I think about the upsets that I had during the day and why I had them, and was it really necessary, and learning to let go of any resentment and anger that I have. That one's a big one.
Yeah, I would imagine that would be a big one. I would also think that could bring up some things, because there are times when our upsets, we realize, if we recognize when you start doing this, that we were the cause of our upsets. There may be times and people that we need to go to apologize to, or to do something else. And I don't know, can you relax after that? Do you just make yourself a note and say, ooh, make sure you apologize to so-and-so and get back to this so that you can relax? You can open up some things. So be careful and mindful of that too. All right.
Absolutely. So those are the different types. There was 9 different types, and I mean, I can run through them again really quickly. And if you have questions about them, just put them in the chat. And if we're not able to get to them, I'll circle back around and answer. But, it's being mindful, spiritual awareness, spiritual meditation, focused meditation, movement meditation, my favorite, mantra meditation with an intent saying, because transcendental meditation is there's no purpose or meaning behind the word that you're using. And then progressive relaxation, great for bedtime, and the loving kindness to let go of resentment, and then visualization. So, and if you're new to meditation, there's apps out there too. There's a Calm app, which is called Calm. They'll walk you through different types of meditation if you want to really give it a guided meditation. Because sometimes if you're not used to it and you're uncomfortable with sitting with your own thoughts and feelings, doing a guided meditation is really, really beneficial and helpful until you can create the habitual process yourself. Headspace is another one. And then Meditation Nest. But I would say Calm is probably the most popular.
They all cost, don't they? Or any of them free? They know they have a trial period, but
correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can go through the trial period and see if it works for you, or just get enough of a skill set to be able to do it on your own. But don't overthink it. That's one thing I really do want to impress upon you is don't overthink it, and don't be afraid to lean into your emotions and your feelings. And because when you're leaning into them, and what I mean by that is just really embracing all of the emotions and feelings that you're having, the whole spectrum. And
I'm sorry.
No,
Janet Schubert, she says that she has Apple Music, and they have guided meditations, and she uses that.
Yes, that is true. Thank you, Janet, for sharing that.
Now, you mentioned the 2 apps, and somebody's asking, what was the last one?
Something Nest. It was Calm, Headspace, and Meditation Nest.
Okay. Well, I know that on Calm, honey, Matthew McConaughey, he can take you to bed, child. He sits up there and he has a little, I'm going to tell you a story. I'm like, ooh, all right, honey. This is just wonderful. Yeah. So then you're going to get you'll hear voices of people that you know, and hopefully people that you enjoy. So that's going to be helpful to you as well.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yes.
Anything else for us?
No, just don't overthink it. Just, really have fun with it. It's really just getting comfortable with being in your own skin, because it's so much better for you. It's going to help reduce stress. You're going to sleep better.
And take your time, you all. Once you get into meditation, there's no right or wrong way for you to do it. You have to find out what works best for you, and consider the reason that you're doing it so that you can find the right meditation for you. But it is very, very, very important that all of us in this world of chaos, in this world where we have been separated from each other and where people aren't very kind to each other, that we do find a way to meditate. We find a way to center ourselves. We find a place to have some calm, to have some peace, so that when we go out in the world, we can be better people. People say, "Oh, how's your day going?" "Oh, it's just fine. I'm having a lovely day." But wait till you go outside. You have to interact with somebody. Will you be the same? So let's spread some of the love. Let's meditate. Let's find a way to have some calm. And we'll look forward to seeing you all in a couple of weeks. Thanks so much for being with us. Thanks so much, Coach Sherry Ann. See you next time, you all. God bless.